But I try to engage her as much as I can.
Understood.
How fast, Michael, did she distinguish between Mommy's voice and Daddy's voice? Because you have such a lovely voice, and it's so calming. And I can't help but think that when she would hear your voice, it was like she would light up because it was so calm.
Something I learned years ago, especially when dealing with children, that I was especially sensitive to in the beginning, was when I would talk to her, I would talk very quiet and gentle and slow, just to have that peaceful, peaceful tone with her, and that worked. Whereas if you were abrupt or loud or sharp, you know, it would put her up her defenses.
She would give you signals.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get discouraged? Was there any time when you said, "Oh, why did I take on this?"
I just wanted, could I just backtrack to when he would come home?
Go ahead.
I had to teach her how to greet him, but once I taught her, you walk to the door, Daddy's there, you hug him, and he hugs you. You know, I had to teach her step by step, but once she understood and got it, and then he'd come in the door and she'd hear his voice, "I'm home." Yeah. It was like, I couldn't prevent her from getting there because she's a daddy's girl.
Well, today,
close.
is she even more physical, where you come through the door like she would hop up, or you pick her up, that kind of totally surrendered?
I'm still healthy enough that I can pick her up and throw her around. We wrestle around on the carpet. She loves me to pick her up and carry her up the stairs.
Well, we met her, and first thing I thought, that girl has confidence. And just let the audience know that we're going to meet her. We're talking about this wonderful little girl, and they are going to get to meet her. But going back to that question,
yes.
Were you ever discouraged, either one of you, did you ever say, "Oh my gosh, why did I take on this?"
Absolutely. But we each have the best ally we could possibly have in each other.
So, like when you maybe said, "Oh," you said we can get through it, and when vice versa?
Take a break, Bonnie. Suzie and I are going to go play.
How wonderful to have that. You would have to have that, I think, in this type of situation, a good, solid marriage.
We're each other's backup.
It's made us closer. It's made us stronger. As you know, as you give, you receive so much more. But we've also had to learn how to speak up and ask, and not to be afraid. I remember when she got to an age where she adores other children. She loves her playmates. She loves to have sleepovers. And so we'd invite the children over, and we'd invite them for the sleepover, but nobody ever invited her. And it seemed that way with birthday parties. We'd invite people over to her birthday, but nobody invite her. And then...
Did that hurt her?
It didn't hurt her.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
It hurt
you.
It hurt us more.
Yeah.
But then I said, you know, it's education, education, education.
Exactly.
And so Michael had the greatest idea. He said, well, you keep asking them, why don't you just say, would you reciprocate? If we have your daughter over for a sleepover, how about later in the summer you do that for us? And it was like, well, sure, we'd be glad to do that. And it was sort of like,
how wonderful.
It was so easy.
You didn't have to be there to kind of monitor her? No.
She got to a point where it was trusted friends that she knew.
Yeah.
And we did start with like some of my really good girlfriends, and a wonderful lady called Grandy Candy, who she really loves and adores, and teacher Lorinda, the lady who has the preschool, and Aunt Donna. And so they were people that she knew and felt comfortable with.
Well, before we break away and introduce Suzie to our audience and the audience out there, I'd like to know, how many words does she know?
Oh,
she has a very vast
full range of
vocabulary.
Expression now, I would think.
Yes.
She's probably one of the she's easily on a par, if not one of the better spellers in her class.
Right. Is she in a regular? She's in a special.
She's mainstreamed all the way.
Mainstreamed all the way.
Well, she is pulled during the day for some comprehension and writing, because those are two of her areas that she needs a little more, assistance in. But those are coming. Like just this year, just this past month, she wrote all by herself a whole paragraph, and I think it had maybe 5 sentences in it. But she did it completely on her own, and
That's wonderful.
Huge. This is huge.
Now she has other talents and abilities. I'll let Badeish talk to you about that while I get ready to show what she actually can do.
Okay. Yes.
Well, Bonnie, I wanted to ask you, when did you know that Suzie had artistic abilities?
Well, I'm an art education minor, and I've always loved the arts. I love I'm a dancer, I've done drama, you name it. So I know, again, it's only divine order that this child that we adopted should be artistic, but I didn't know, because anytime I gave her a pen or a pencil, she would just, nope, no interest at all. Until we were on an airplane once, and it's when she was 5½, and she was very restless. And she didn't want to play with her toys, so I took out a napkin and a pen, and I said, Susie, look, watch. And she just was like, all of a sudden, and then pretty soon, before I knew it, she took the pen out of my hand and started drawing on the napkin herself. Then when we got home, I took her out to the sidewalk and brought sidewalk chalk out there. And I said, now look at this tree, Susie. See how Mommy's looking at the tree and how I'm just drawing it? And then she'd draw a tree. It was like, whoa. And then for her to go into the house, she wasn't real verbal then, because she's become more verbal all the time with a larger vocabulary. But she actually said, paper, please, pencil. And so I gave her first paper and pencil, and there she started. And then I went on a trip for about a week, and I left her with a good friend who's an artist. And when I came back, she said, Bonnie, we need to talk. And I go, okay. Oh. And she said, you have a little artist on your hand. You really do.
Let's show the people how wonderful she really is. Could you tell us something about this picture we have here, or painting, or what medium is this? Because I'm not looking at it. Is it pencil?
This is pencil. First she did ink drawing, colored them. Then she cut them out, and I assisted. And then together we arranged it as a collage. And it's called Will You Dance With Me? And it shows all these different characters that she loves and adores.
When you say characters, are they real people or just?
Some of them are real people, some of them are make-believe. I see there's some animals in there, there's a clown, but it looks like everybody is dancing with somebody. And Susie's the big, gigantic figure on the left with a tiny little boy holding her hand, and they're dancing.
Let's show another picture.
Okay. All right. Tell us some more about...
This one was done in '08, the one you're holding up.
All right. Okay. Tell us some more about her drawings and the different things she does.
Okay. This one was when she was, Strawberry Shortcake was one of her, she drew this when she was 6, and Strawberry Shortcake was one of her very first inspirations, that and Veggie Tales. And for a long time, she'd say, Strawberry Shortcake me. And being an art therapist and loving art, I'm not a true art therapist, but I've learned how to be an art therapist with my daughter. I discovered that, oh my, she's got our house on the right, the blue house, and then Strawberry Shortcake's house on the left.
We're looking at a picture, just to let people know what they're looking at. We're looking at a picture of her. We're looking at Susie drawing right now. So
are you?
Yeah, well, that's okay. We'll keep talking.
Okay.
I just want people to know, because they saw something else on the screen.
Wonderful.
They might have been a little confused.
Okay. And you'll see how she colored Strawberry Shortcake half pink, like she's in the Strawberry Land, and half blue, like she's still in Susie Land.
We can see she's extremely talented. That's terrific.
And she loves the exaggeration of the hats.
Here's another fabulous one right here. There you go.
This looks like it's oil pastels.
It's actually an oil chalk, and then it's watercolor. And she did that in kindergarten, believe it or not. They were doing an art literature lesson on the famous artist Kandinsky, and that was what she came up with.
That's beautiful.
And when we had her in a Christmas bazaar, we had a lot of people want this.
So was she
print.
4, 5, 6 years old?
She was 6.
Kindergarten, 6
well,
years
she was
old.
Kindergarten, so
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And people would say, "Where did you get that Kandinsky?" And we'd say, "It's a Suziski."
Suziski.
Here's one more.
So, do you think drawing or painting help her?
Oh, it's helped her to connect with the world. It's helped her communication. It's helped her self-esteem. It's helped her to express herself creatively, and feel like, wow, you know, I have something special to share with the world.
There are 2 people here. Is that you and Mom and Dad?
Well, we blew this one up, and it was in her calendar, and I asked her when I blew it up, what shall we call it? And she said, without hesitation, she said, God is in me.